All right, Caroline, let's check out one of your runs up on South Bowl, GS training, day before states. All in all, pretty good run. A couple things to talk about. You did a good job, particularly up in the pitch here, although, feet are a little bit probably too narrow at the top of the turn. We've talked about that, but um, you got outside the rise line where you needed to up here. You brought it back to the gate, so pretty good line there. You were patient. Outside the rise line, arcing back to the gate, direction done by the gate, that's pretty good. Again, feet are probably, a little too narrow at the top of the turn. But again, bringing it back to the gate nicely. Some sections probably started it too early. Right in here, probably started the turn. Where'd you go here? It's just a tad too early. Haven't got to the rise line yet. Starting it in, which probably caused you to have to lay off the ski a bit. Hard to see here, but I think you were arcing them here, and then all of a sudden had to kind of lay off it a bit. Kind of leaned in a tad, I think, because you need to get off the outside ski. So just try to be a little more patient. Make sure we get to the rise line or beyond. We want to be outside rise line, any type of steep turns with any, real, when they're offset. Here again, haven't got the rise line, starting to turn. You had to pinch it off. You were, too tight. Your feet got too close to the gate, and you no longer had any room. So you really had to duck here to get by the gate. And then all there, then you square up. That's another one of my general, I think, comments is even though it was occurring there when you had to, when you turned too early, but most of the day and in the afternoon, a lot of ducking to get by the gate. We see it again, and unnecessary. We see it here. You're really not on the panel, but you duck to get by it. It causes a lot of reverse shoulder, the counter. Really hard to pressure the ski properly when we're in that much of a counter or ducking. So you duck to get by the gate, turn your back to it, and then immediately when you get past it, square up. We've got to stay more square to the skis and more square to the direction of travel. Same idea. I can already see it looking to duck by this gate. Pretty big counter, ducking to sneak by it, and then immediately when you get by it, you square up. We want to be more square throughout. It puts us in a much better, stronger position to press against the outside ski and press against that platform, get our longer outside leg. That's a little better there, a little better line, so you didn't have to duck. Another focus all day. This day was trying to really get the hips over the boots, come up and recenter in the transition, producing a longer transition and short, powerful arcs. And did a good job of that, I believe. Here we come in, finish the turn, and your hips over the boots, recenter. Start with the next one. You can see already that ducking beginning though. And immediately after the gate, you square up. Something we talked about, you tend to have your hands pretty wide. We talked about that day thinking elbows forward. Even though, yes, when you pass the gate, we should, and through the transition, widen the arms. It should never really go that far. So let's try to think, narrow the hands a bit. We just want to drive them forward and narrow them a little bit by the gate. And yes, we want them to be wider here, but probably not that wide. After the completion of this turn, we're looking to get recentered, bring the hips up over the boots, and actually hands moving forward a bit would help. You know, at this stage of the turn, still driving forward. We should have those hands moving forward and not that wide. Yeah, pretty good looking turn there. And here you didn't have to duck by it, and you were square throughout. Obviously, we can bring that line a little further in though, because you know, we should be on the panel. Looks like a pretty good tuck there. Some nice tuck turns. One thing, we want to make sure we get our hands up in front of the face. You could probably be hands up a little higher to get the poles parallel to the snow and make sure we're creating the bullet position and breaking the wind with our hands in front of our helmet, which is pretty big. So, you know, a couple things to think about. Open the stance at the top of the turn. Make sure we're a little patient throughout, getting outside rise line, particularly on steeps, which you did pretty well. And let's try not to be ducking at the gate. We should square up, give our feet the room enough to have a strong angulated position, be on the panel, but not really ducking and you know, countering to kind of sneak by it. Square it up, and it should help you out.